as it sits right now. It's sort of customized. It's a work in progress. Turn it around here. Of course, first thing to do is clear it. It's clear. If it wasn't, I wouldn't have a camera. So I'm going to stick this back in it and just not rack around. Pretty much stock. As I got it, it came with a Tapco 30 round mag. It came with a Tapco G2 Trigger. I'm assuming these are for compliance part reasons. This counts as 3. The trigger, I'm not sure how many parts that counts. It has the Tapco polymer grip with finger grooves on there, which is, reminiscent of a stock AK grip, but obviously the polymer. And it had polymer handguards, which I've taken off and put a UTG Quadrail on it, because to me, there's every tactical weapon, in my opinion, should have a flashlight capability, just because you never know if you need one. And for the added weight, which is negligible for a decent flashlight, and it really doesn't get in the way, it can offer you some added support in situations where you might wish you had a flashlight. So, anywho, that's why I wanted a Quadrail system. I threw the Magpul AFG angled foregrip on there. I think it's garbage for the most part on an AR, unless you have a short enough length of pull to be able to utilize it and still tuck your arm and use this hand for support, weight support. They're marketing, they being Magpul, are marketing this thing and with this, trying to use this new straight arm stance, and I'm just telling you, it's garbage. What they did is they sold the public the idea of this supination stance that allows your hand to stay forward like that, so that they could sell these AFGs at $30 a pop, and I'm sure it cost them all of $1.25 to make that plastic thing. But on the AK, it works well because it's a short enough length of pull, especially on an underfolder like this, that you can still maintain cheek weld, good body position support with your off trigger hand, and it doesn't take up a lot of space. A lot of times a foregrip, at least from my experience, I'm never going to hold a foregrip with my fist like that. It's just not comfortable. So, but this allows you to have some better purchase on your weapon without having a foregrip that gets in the way. Especially how when you insert a mag in an AK, you have to rock it into place, and having to rock that into place for a regular foregrip will get in the way. And plus, with an underfolder, which I hardly ever fold this up, but this allows me to fold and lock it. See how it just kind of slips right in there. So anyway, I think it works well for the Yugo. My main complaint with the Yugo is the cheek weld, and which is most people's complaint. With the underfolder, that is. Most underfolders are garbage in my opinion. The Chinese ones, some other ones, it just wobbles a lot. It doesn't feel sturdy. This is very sturdy, and it's not all that uncomfortable to shoot as far as, if you've got some meat in your shoulder to put it into. But the cheek weld kind of sucks because it's just this plastic, or not plastic, but metal bar. And if it's hot outside, it gets hot. It doesn't give you good purchase on the cheek weld to get proper sight picture and alignment. So I've done what most people have done, have put a stitched 550 cord stitch on there. It's actually 2 layers. It's the same thing you see in all these survival bracelets. Cobra stitch or Solomon bar or Portuguese Senate, whatever you want to call it. It's all the same stitch, and it's just thick enough that I can it matches well with my cheek, that flat face, and it rises up enough where I can see the sights well, but doesn't hinder it. Doesn't add any weight, and it doesn't keep it from folding properly. So I thought it was a good addition. I've got the Streamlight Polytac LED. I think it's 120 lumens. To kind of give you an idea how bright that is. It's real bright. So we're in a dark room. That's good enough for me. To me, in most situations, you don't want to give away your position with a flashlight until you're ready to pull the trigger anyway. That's the main argument of people that don't agree with having a flashlight on a tactical weapon, but I've had a weapon in tactical situations with and without a flashlight, and believe me, the with is better. But it's a decent flashlight, it's durable, and once I put that on there, it's kind of that desert tan color, and had my little desert tan stitch on the back. I thought it'd be funny to DuraCoat the receiver cover and with gold. I didn't expect it to be this metallic, and in fact, I didn't even put the clear coat on it, which even though it was matte, I wanted it to be as dull as I could make it. And I may not leave it gold, but I've actually got some compliments out of it. I think it's just makes it a little bit more unique. But for the most part, it seems to be a fairly accurate weapon. It's something that I don't mind banging around in my trunk. If I need to, go somewhere real quick and I'm going somewhere, I wanted to take a gun like this in my trunk, or if I was just heading out to the range to plink a little bit, I don't mind throwing an AK in my trunk and having it bang around where I might not throw my AR in the trunk and do the same thing. Not that it's any less durable in that sense. It's just, to me, it's just kind of the philosophy of use for an AK. It's just rugged. It's when I think of an AK, I think of something that, when they come to get your gun, this is one you bury in your yard and hope they don't find, and a year later dig it up, rinse the rust off of it, and go to town. So anyway, the only other things I've done to this weapon is on the night sights, which I don't know if you'll be able to tell on the camera. Right here they have flip up night sights. I've painted the little dots in there in the back, neon yellow. I know that's probably not something you can see. And in the front flip up sight, night sight, I painted it green. It just makes it easier to see without spending a bunch of money on tritium's night sights that I'll probably never use anyway. And if you've ever actually had tritium sights, 3 or 4 or 5 hours into your night ops, they're not that useful anyway, to be honest with you, in my opinion. I'm not the end all be all expert by any means, but at night if you're having to use an assault rifle in the middle of the night, you're probably in a bad situation anyway. But you're going to rely more on muscle memory and instinct and how you get your sight picture and alignment more so than taking a well-aimed target shot. So anyway, as far as the UTG Quadrail, man, it's awesome for this gun. It's got a place where your grenade sight can still slide down there. Some of these you have to saw off the sight. It sits up high enough off the rail that I feel like you could put a reflex sight or some sort of optic up there, and it wouldn't transfer enough heat to damage your optic. Some of the other brands that sit so low, I don't know if I'd want to mount anything of any kind of value on there. Pairs up well with this AFG, gives me a good place to put a flashlight, and still allows me to fold it, which once again, these are moving parts, metal on metal, and I don't fold it unless I have to, and then if I do fold it, I don't unfold it unless I have to, just so it doesn't wear those out. But it's nice to still have that capability. If I wanted to throw it in a trunk or put this in a duffel bag and carry it somewhere, I could do it. If I didn't want an underfolder, I wouldn't have gotten one. So I wanted to maintain that capability and still be able to have my quad rail and be able to mount, whatever optics or flashlights I wanted to. So, anywho, this is my gun. So, how do you like it? Leave me a comment or two and let me know if you have any suggestions or what you think about the bling bling on it, or you love it, hate it, don't care. Just let me know. Peace.